Well, good morning, everyone. It's dark 30 here at the cabin. Just joking. It's 7 o'clock in the morning here. I arrived late last night because, well, I'm headed out this morning on a special trip, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. But I have to get the cabin here to check out the new well that was put in. So that's right. The last time you guys were at the cabin, you saw that the well was in process of being drilled. So now it's drilled, and there's a few things I've got to do to prepare the system and to test the water for potability. So I'll give you a few details of the well. It's a really good well. So they hit water at about 200 feet and drilled down to about 220 feet. We have a static water level of about 32 feet. Beautiful clear water, and we've got lots of water. Of course, it's mushroom foraging season. I'm actually headed out on a foray momentarily, actually. And we think we're going to see some good mushrooms. I do like eating these. Nice texture. These are nice and fresh. Nothing's yet started on my logs for the shiitake. Those are cold strains, so they're going to come up a little bit later in the fall. Fingers and toes crossed, we'll get some more. So yeah, I'm headed on a foray this morning, so I got to get going with some things I need to do with the well. Got to get some breakfast going. We have some cereal and eggs this morning. As you can see, the fall has hit the cabin hard. The leaves are coming down. Smells beautiful out here. I love the smells of fall and leaves, and it's a damp, I guess. Yep. See a bit more of the sky pretty soon. It is getting pretty dark here in the mornings now. Yeah, even the porch light's coming on. So yeah, it's hard to get up in the morning, but I gotta get going. So I'm gonna have my breakfast, then we're gonna head down and look at the well. It's really nice walking through the leaves again. Let's head over here and look at the well itself. Last time you guys were here, there was a big truck kind of propped up here and they were drilling. I was not here for the drilling process. It's extremely loud. You can see some of the little leftovers of the drilling. What this is just the granite that they had to drill through. You can see it's just like beach sand, basically. So this is actually cool. We're gonna pile this up and use this just around the cabin and stuff like that. This is all basically bedrock that we're on right now. So there's the well itself. So it's a two-part process. The well was drilled and then a plumber came in to set this up. So what you can see, there's the capped well right there. And let's go take a look at how I get the water. So this is a hydrant style pump. So it flicks on and off so that water goes back down the well, and this sort of turns the water back on. So in the winter we can actually use this. So when I'm done in the winter, I just slap this down, and then the water goes back in the well. This line will not freeze up. And then if I want water, I open this up. So we look down here, we've got two taps. This one, you can get water directly out of it and turn that on. There's water there. So turn that tap on there, there's water. So wintertime, we can use the tap there. And this right here, this goes to the wash house, which we'll go to in a second. And this line right here is another line. This one is capped off right now, but this can actually be used to go up to the cabin. So we can, clip on another tube up here and run it to the cabin if we want. But that's not in the game plan this year, so we just had them kind of cap it off. All right, let's head to the wash house right there. So underneath here is some conduiting with the pipes in there. So it goes all the way over here. And what I have set up here, this is the old rain barrel system, which you're going to have to rejig that. We don't need that for drinking or, washing our hands anymore. So this is the pump right here. Got to build like a little house over this. I'll show you what I've got temporarily for it right now. But you see there's the rest of this tubing right here. And this is where it comes out. This is the one that would go to the cabin. So I can kind of like turn that on. But this is the tube that kind of comes up from the well. You can see it's like sweating there because the cold water goes in there and goes into the pressure tank. So this is a Wellright 76 liter tank. So that's pretty good. That holds a fair bit of water in there for sure. And right now we got this running to a, just runs off the Honda generator basically. So once this tank runs out, you just turn on the generator and it'll kind of like pump from the well up and fill the tank. And then from there, it, the well water goes into there, pressurized, and then it comes in through this tubing and in through the pre-existing plumbing that's in the wash house here. And the really cool thing, there's the gauge for the well pump. Really cool thing here is that he's set up so in the once it starts getting cold out, obviously don't want any water in the lines. So this is a quick connect here for an air compressor to kind of blow out the system for any water. To show you, I had to buy an air compressor just so I don't have one. So I had to buy one just so that we can, manage this in the later fall. So I'll show you that in just a second. So I mentioned the air compressor. So I bought this recently at Princess Auto. It's a 2-gallon and at maximum pressure rating is at 125 psi. It's fairly quiet, which is nice. Never had an air compressor before. Lots of good uses for this, and we'll run just off the generator for sure. So let's take a look. Hot off the press. Felt bad. The person at Princess Auto had to climb all the way up the ladder to the top left shelf in the store and to get it for me. This is the one I wanted. Pretty highly rated too, so I'm pretty excited about that. Ta-da! There we go. I think it's about 30 pounds. So this is going to be really important when I get this set up in the fall. So, oh yeah, she's heavy. Let's take it out of the box. And there we go. This is great. Of course, it doesn't come with like the tubes or anything like that. So they sell this really nice little kit too, which I bought. So this is the hose and all the different fittings there, which is really cool. So I showed you the quick connect there earlier. So we'll be able to connect into that to blow out the lines. Also has lots of other cool things we can use here at the cabin, or inflating tires or whatever we need to do. So this is pretty cool. I believe this kit's about 35 bucks or something like that. This is just a little bit over 200, like 240 or whatever. So it'll last a long time. Lots of, good use out of this thing. So I'm pretty excited about that. So again, we'll use this probably end of October, beginning of November to blow out the lines. I'll show you how we do that. I'm not going to do it now because I'm in the middle of a testing process for the water. And I'm on a timeline this morning. So, but this is the Power Fist from Princess Auto. And now we're going into the wash house. We have the bathroom, shower stall, and sink. And let's take a look. There you go. Nice and clean water. It's nice and cold. And we go in here for the shower, and it works. So last night, one of my jobs, I had to come here and I just ran the pump for about 2 hours. Just to kind of make sure we got the water running through the system. So what happens when you get a well installed? The plumber comes, does the plumbing, however you want to do it. This is the way we decided to do it. And they have to shock the well. So they have to put in a fair bit of bleach in there. It's dependent on the size of like the shaft of the well, the diameter of it, and how much water you have. So basically they put regular household bleach in there, unscented obviously, and in a kind of very concentrated formula to shock the well, because they're in there, there's bacteria, iron producing bacteria and stuff, and great slimes and everything. So you want to kind of shock the well, sanitize it. I wanted to sanitize the lines into the wash house because before there was definitely, we were using water barrels, rain barrels, and there was like algae and stuff like that. So I wanted to make sure all the lines were treated. So when the plumber came in, what they did was they just ran the water through the system, the concentrated bleach in the water. So the pipes have been sanitized now. So this morning's task is getting about 3 bottles of water to test for potability. So one, I'm going to be doing just a general chemistry test, check the hardness of the water, and I'm going to give you my predictions. And just make sure there's no iron, sulfur, things like that in there, that we have to get a water softener, iron extractor. And want to make sure too that there is no bacteria in there. So we're going to do the coliforms and the coli testing. And we're also going to be looking for, I kind of went down the rabbit hole of what to test for when you first drill a well, and one of them was arsenic, because apparently that can come into the water supply after a freshly drilled well. It's been kind of in the ground. So I don't know, I probably don't have to do that, but I'm just going to do it anyway. It's just not that much extra to add on to the test kit. So I'm going to do that. There's a whole bunch of other things when you go to these private chemistry labs to test your water. You can check for like basically pesticides and things like that. Here, low risk. I mean, there was farming here, but it's sort of like really not intensive farming or anything like that. So I don't really expect there to be a lot of stuff, down in that aquifer. So I'm not going to be doing that. It's a lot of money to kind of go through and test all the things. I mean, you would routinely do that anyway. I think maybe if you're doing like I don't know if you run a campground or something, where you have to do anything more than that. But basically general chemistry, coliforms, and we're going to check arsenic just because whatever, I wanted to do it. So yeah, let's talk about my predictions for what the water's going to be like. So first off, just had a little quick sniff there. There's no smell to it, no more bleach smell anymore. but I want to make sure it's pretty much, doesn't have any more, chlorine in there. I did not bring any fish tank test kits, where you can test to see if there's any chlorine in the water for when you put your fish in the tank. So I didn't bring that. But what I did do last night, this is really geeky of me, is what I did was I was looking for a natural acid and base indicator. Me loving nature and stuff like that. So what acid base indicators do is they change color in different solutions. So if something's acidic, it turns one color. If it's basic, it turns another color. So I was going through the cupboard and I actually found hibiscus tea that I had. And hibiscus is a really good natural pH indicator. So what happens is like, generally speaking, when, like you make a hibiscus tea, if the water's sort of like neutral or a little bit acidic, the color of the hibiscus tea is like a pinky color. And as you go more basic, I think it turns more like a purpley color, and then it turns like to a bright kind of yellow color when it's very, very basic, So I did a little experiment last night to test my theories. So basically what I did was I have bleach here. So I put some bleach in like a little glass jar. This is the glass jar I used. And then what I did was I made up a little bit of hibiscus tea with water from home, which I knew really I should use distilled water, but I used water from home, which I know is like sort of a neutral pH. And then what I did was I just put a little bit in there to see, like, I put a bit of the bleach, into the tea to see what would happen. And sure enough, it all turned like from like a pink color from the hibiscus tea straight to like a yellow color, telling me that it was at least like pH 14, which is consistent with what bleach is. So I was like, okay, so I know if there is a good bit of bleach in the water, that's the color should be kind of like this yellowy kind of color with the hibiscus tea mixed in. So what I did then is I had my one from home making the hibiscus tea, my tap water, which is good, and that was like a nice pink color. And after I ran the taps here for a good couple hours, and then the color of the hibiscus tea I made with that water, the water from here in the wash house, was the same kind of color. So I'll just show you those pictures of that little experiment. I do have pH paper because I was doing like fermentations and making beers and wines and things like that. So I do have pH paper, I forgot it, and I don't have any fish tank test kits. So this is the best I can do to determine right now. One, there being no bleach smell, and two, that it looks like it's probably like a near neutral pH, or maybe a little bit, it wouldn't be acidic, but it's probably near neutral pH in here. So I think I've gotten rid of majority of the bleach. We're going to find out. They'll test the chlorine in the water anyway. So I think we're good there. I do suspect the water is hard water. One, where it was drilled out of, into granite. And also when I wash my hands, the soap comes off really easily, and your hands it just feels kind of like, I don't know, like not slimy or anything, like you would have softened water feel like on your hands. I don't know if it's super duper hard. What I did is I mixed a little bit of just tap water in this, shook it out to see what it looks like when it's dry. And I don't see like any spots or anything. So the water where I live right now is on a water softener. If I take the water just out of the tap without it being softened, it definitely will like leave big white spots in the cup by morning kind of thing. I've lived in other places where wells are like that. So this is not like that. So I don't think the water is super hard, but it's definitely hard water. But definitely not the point where I'd be like, oh my gosh, like gonna damage a whole lot of the fixtures and things like that, or your kettle or whatnot. So yeah, I think we've got some hard water. I think I've cleared out all the bleach from the system. The little experiment says that the pH should be pretty good. So now we're just going to do the testing. So when we're ready to do the sample, I'm just going to use a little bit of an alcohol wipe kind of in here. You're supposed to take the screen off and sort of everything off of this, but that's not how I'm going to drink the water. So I'm just going to kind of sanitize the opening, and then we'll take our samples. All right. So here are the 3 bottles here. One of them's for arsenic. One of them is for like the general chem, I think is that one. And this one is for the bacteria. They all have to be filled up to the line right here. And then I got to refrigerate them. So once I get my samples, I'm going to be putting them like in the cooler on ice. And I have to bring them to the lab today. They close today a little bit early, and then it's Sunday. So basically I don't want to hold them too long. They want them within 48 hours. The fresher, the better. That way the testing should come back within a week. So I'll update you guys on that. See what my predictions are. I do predict that we won't have any coliform or E. coli here. I find that would be really unusual to have that. The water here is really good, I've heard. So anyway, so that's my predictions. So I'm going to go collect the water now. All right, so I've got the pump on. Just let it run the water for a little bit now that I've sanitized the sink. And let it run for a bit, and then we'll kind of get a sample. We want to fill it right to the tops of the bottles. You're not going to want to touch the top of the bottle in case you've got some dirt on your fingers or something like that, it might interfere with the testing. All right, so here's the first bottle. It's for the microbiology. You can see there's a little line right there. You just sort of fill it up to there, and then you write your sample ID on there and you put it in the cooler. And this one tests for arsenic. It's the smaller bottle. Looks about right. There's a general chem. The water looks really nice and clear. It's just frosty because it's kind of cold water. Yep, so this is how we're going to transport them, so they'll stay nice and cool during my foray, and then I'll drop them off at the lab. Well, I'm getting ready to head out in the foray, and I'm going to take a big leap. I'm going to leave this here. So this is our 10-liter water jug. It's empty. We used to be able to haul water into the cabin with this, but what I'm now going to do is leave this here, and then when we want water, we can just go down to the wash house and bring it up to the cabin. Another project will be obviously to pipe into the cabin for, so we don't have to leave to get the water. But yeah, so we'll leave this here. So the next person that comes here can just fill it up at the tap and bring it up to the cabin. So the last thing I got to do is put on this Gorilla tarp just over the pump at the back, just to protect it a little bit till we build something. So Princess Auto carries these now, these lovely Gorilla tarps. So it's got 8mm plastic. So we'll put that on. This is pretty good. Look at this. It comes with these sort of D-rings and your regular grommets there. So this looks like a really good tarp. Well, there we go for now. It's not pretty, but we're going to be building a little extension on the shower house here to protect it. This will do for now. All right, so I've arrived at the lab. This is where they do the analysis. There's lots of these labs across Canada to help analyze your water. Well, thanks for joining me at the cabin to discuss the well. So I'll let you know how it goes. I'll stay tuned for that water testing to come back, and we'll compare it to my predictions. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them down below in the comments. Until then, see you next time. Bye for now.